It never happens at a good time. The pipe bursts at midnight. The heater quits on the coldest night. Suddenly, you're overwhelmed. That's when HomeServe is here. For $4.99 a month, you're never alone. Just call their 24/7 hotline and a local pro is on the way. Trusted by millions, HomeServe delivers peace of mind when you need it most. For plans starting at just $4.99 a month, go to homeserve.com. That's homeserve.com. Not available everywhere. Most plans range between $4.99 to $11.99 a month your first year. Terms apply on covered repairs.
Do you want your website to rank higher in the search engine results? Of course you do, because you want more of that organic traffic. Yeah, that free traffic. If so, you do not want to miss this episode on search engine optimization. That's right, SEO, where we're going to learn how to optimize your website and the content for those search engines to increase your online visibility and drive more traffic to your website. Get ready to take your digital marketing strategy to the next level with our tips and tricks for SEO success.
Being an entrepreneur sounds like, yes, another new client. I did it. But it can also sound like, I am really not understanding this technology, and I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Am I even cut out for this? That's why I started the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast, to help infopreneurs, coaches, and course creators who want to build a business online but are battling technology, overwhelm, procrastination, and even imposter syndrome. Think successfully, think differently, think bigger, and take action by learning tips from an array of business owners, all dropping knowledge on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast. Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
What is up? What is up? What the heck is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? So here we are back again. We're still, 4 episodes into this digital marketing for beginners series I'm doing here on the podcast. And then today we're going to talk about search engine optimization. Yeah, SEO. That's the process of optimizing your website and its content to increase your online visibility and attract more of that organic traffic from the search engines, Google, Bing, Yahoo. And so there's about 5 components of SEO that I want to chat with you here quickly. I'm going to give them to you here real fast, and then we're going to go into them with a little more detail on this episode. So, and they are, keyword research, and online page optimization, offline page optimization, technical SEO. We're going to spend a little bit of time on that. And then content marketing, right? All of those make perfect sense. I know all those are in SEO. Your keyword research is obviously, we're going to identify those keywords and phrases that are for your target audience, right? The ones your target audience is using to search for the information that you have for them, all that valuable content we've talked about in the previous episodes. And we're going to talk about in an upcoming episode here, not the next one, but the one afterwards, we're going to talk about content marketing. You can use tools like Google Keyword Planner, SEMrush to identify those high value keywords and incorporate them not only into your website, but into your content. On-page optimization. On-page optimization, this one involves optimizing individual pages on your website to improve their relevance and their quality for those specific keywords. This includes things like page titles, meta descriptions, headings, the content, the images, and all the internal links. And we'll talk about that more of that in a minute. Then you have off-page optimization. Now, this involves building those backlinks from other websites to your website. Now, when I say other websites, I mean other reputable websites, because this helps increase your website's authority and relevance, which will improve your search engine result rankings. Then we have the technical piece of it, and this is where most people spend and spin off into spirals on it. This involves optimizing things like, the speed of your website, right? The mobile responsiveness, the architecture behind it, and of course, the security. And, the crawlers, they check these things out. So you're going to want to spend a little time on that. And then finally, believe it or not, content marketing is a part of SEO. Content marketing makes sure that you have valuable content that attracts and engages your target audience. Because here's the thing, if they're searching for one and you get the right keyword and they click on it and they go to your website and then they leave, well, all those search engines, they pay attention to that. And they don't bring those folks back, right? So making sure you've got that good quality content marketing behind the things will help those search engines see that you're more relevant, you're providing value, and they'll drive more traffic to you. So let's get into this one by one. Let's go through the keyword research first, shall we? Now, again, this is a critical component. They're all critical components. You pull one of these out and you're kind of limping along. You in this area, you could probably get away with pulling one out. You pull more than one out, I think you're just going to fall straight on your face. But keyword research is one of the big ones. This is all about identifying the keywords and the phrases, those long-tail keywords, that your target audience is using to search for the information related to your service, your business, your information, right? Not the things that you think are important, the things that your target audience thinks is important, right? So when you go about doing your keyword research, right? First off, you're going to want to identify those seed keywords. Those are the broad keywords that are relevant to your business, to your industry. For example, let's say you sell fitness equipment, right? Your seed keywords could be, well, fitness equipment, exercise machines, or home gym equipment. Okay, does that make sense? Those are the broad general terms that you know everyone is using. Now, there are research tools that will help you out there and do this, and I mentioned them a little bit early. There's Google Keyword Planner, SEMrush, Ahrefs, right? These will all help expand your list of seed keywords and identify some related keywords from your target audience that they're already using to search for the information related to your business. Now, this thing takes it down that next level. You're going to want to analyze those competitors' keywords. Yeah, you're going to have some competition out there. So if you analyze your competitors' keywords to identify the keywords that they're targeting and that they are ranking for, this can help you identify any gaps in your own keyword strategy and help you find new opportunities. Now, I'm not saying you always want to go after the exact same keywords. You might. It's up to you. But you might go through their keywords and see, oh, they're totally missing the boat on fitness equipment for moms, right? Maybe that's one of your focuses. I don't know, but you can go down that next level and find those gaps in their keyword analysis and fill those gaps and get you that jump faster, which will then in turn hopefully get you the rankings for the other keywords as well. And then I think a piece of it that lots of folks miss out on is let's go after the keywords that have search intent. You want to consider the intent behind each keyword. See whether they're searching for information. They could be searching for a specific product or services, right? When you know the intent, then you can deliver the right kind of value. If their intent is information, well, deliver them to a website that gives them information. If their intent is purchasing, well, then you want to deliver them to a spot where they're ready to just click that buy button, okay? Make sure it's relevant to the traffic and the intent that's going on that will lift up that value for you. And then you want to prioritize the high value keywords. High value keywords, these are the high search volume, low competition, and high relevance to your business. Now, as you start doing the research, you'll start identifying those. These ones get lots of searches, but this one, and this little group right here, there's lots of competition. But if I go after these one or two, there's still high search volume, there's lower competition, but it's still highly relevant. These are the keywords that are most likely going to drive that relevant traffic to your website, generating you leads, subscribers, specs, and eventually sales, okay? Now, let's pause for a minute and make sure we're doing simple things like optimizing our page titles and our meta descriptions with these high value keywords in our page titles, in our meta descriptions. That's going to help improve the relevance and the visibility of yourself and your products and your services to those search engine results pages. Create targeted content. Targeted content is content that aligns with the user's intent and incorporates those high value keywords. This could be a blog post, right? This is a great one to bring them in, especially if they're looking for that information. Product pages, if that intent is all about buying, let's suck them into that one. Or landing pages, which could have a mix of the both. And maybe you've got some intent keywords that are use on both sides of that fence, okay? And then building the backlinks, you're going to build some backlinks, and of course, monitor performance. I say this all the time. You're going to want to monitor the performance because sometimes something will be doing really well for you, and then all of a sudden it'll drive off. Competition may have noticed that you were doing well. They're out there analyzing you as much as you're analyzing them. So keep monitoring your performance. Now, let's move on to the next one, which is on-page optimization. I mentioned this a little bit, but this is a process of optimizing individual pages on your website to improve their relevance and their quality score for specific keywords. So here's some steps we want to go through for that on-page optimization. You want to optimize the page titles and use high-value keywords, the ones you did in your keyword research, and kind of laid these out in this order for a reason. But put them in those page titles to improve their relevance and their visibility to the SERPs, right? SERPs, which is search engine result pages. And keep those page titles concise but descriptive and compelling so that the users will click through to your website. Write meta descriptions. So many people forget about this, right? I'll do it all myself, and they forget about these little nuances. Write compelling meta descriptions that incorporate, again, those high-value keywords, and provide a brief summary of your page's content. Meta descriptions appear in the SERPs under your page titles. You've seen those, right? Someone maybe puts a link to their page and this little description pops up, right? Well, that's that meta description that appears right underneath there. So make sure you're populating those so people can look at that and they're influenced by it to click through to your website. Okay. And then you have headings and subheadings. These are those H1, H2, H3 headings that will be in your blog post, in your content, on your landing pages. They break up your content. They make it more readable for the readers as well as the SERPs. And again, you want to incorporate those high-value keywords into your headings, into your subheadings that improve the relevance of the content with those specific keywords. And then you want to optimize that content for those specific keywords, including and incorporating them into the content naturally as well as strategically, right? Use bullet points, use lists, use bolded text, and all of this will make your content more readable and make it a bit more engaging for the users as well, right? It'll give it some pizzazz. Normally, you listen to a voice like I'm doing right now, and I just don't speak monotone like this. I'm adding my own boldness, my own italicizing, my own H1, H2, H3s with my voice. And then lastly, in this section, we have use internal links. A lot of people forget about this one, and I was guilty of this for the longest time. Internal links help the users that are visiting your website navigate around. It also helps the search engines crawl around and index your website more effectively. By incorporating high-value keywords into your internal links, this is going to improve their relevance for those specific keywords, right? So if you're writing a blog post about great, let's use fitness equipment we talked about earlier. Maybe you mention treadmill, and then you have another post about treadmills. Well, you make that as an internal link over into another one of your blog posts, and the people reading it and the web engine search crawlers will see it as well, and they start connecting the two, and they're like, this is even more relevant because you have this next level of detail. All right. Now, what about off-page optimization? How do I do that, Tracy? Well, first off, let's talk about what it is for those that don't. I know for a long time, I'm like, off-page, how do I do that? Well, this is the process of building those backlinks to your website from other reputable websites. That's very important because you see a lot of people out there selling backlinks. And a lot of times they're not, they're low value, right? They're not bad. Google's like, yeah, I see what you're doing. Anyway, backlinks are an important factor in ranking in the search engine algorithms, even today, all right? So to help raise or at least establish your website's authority, you want to have backlinks for relevant and specific keywords. And this is where we're going to go through these steps of offline page optimization. So you want to find some high quality websites, right, that are relevant to your business, your service, your industry, whatever it is that you're doing, and then get included into their publications, in their blogs, in their forums, on their website that are popular for your niche. So go out there and make some comments, right, on their website. And a lot of times you can set up a profile, and in that profile, they usually allow you one link. Well, that's a backlink to your website. Other times is you can be a guest poster, right? Reach out to those website owners and offer to create some high quality content in exchange for the backlink to your website. This could be a guest blog, like I just mentioned, creating an infographic, creating a video, and again, participating in industry forums. Maybe you already have some amazing content. You're like, hey, I did this amazing post. You might want to check it out. Your readers will benefit from it, right? And they may just link straight to it and then include an excerpt. Okay. Use social media, of course, right? You can use social media to promote your content, build those relationships with the other website owners and the influencers that are out there in your industry. This can help increase your visibility to your content, as well as attract those backlinks to your website. And then monitor, right? There it is, that word again, monitor your backlinks using tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush and Google Search Console. This will help you identify any new backlink opportunities that you may be afforded, as well as the quality of your existing backlinks. And if there's some ones out there that are not so great, let's get rid of those things, okay? Now, you want to avoid the black hat SEO tactics that are out there, buying backlinks or participating in link farms. These tactics usually results in penalties. You get the Google slap, the Bing slap, the Yahoo slap, and will reduce your website's reputation, okay? Now, let's go into the technical piece of things. This is the one that they hear the word SEO, and this is one they spin off into right away. This refers to the process of all those technical aspects, right? To ensure that your website and the search engines can crawl it and index your website effectively and efficiently. All right, so technical SEO, in fact, it will help your website's visibility in the SERPs, in the search engine result pages, and drive you that organic traffic to your website. But let's talk about what they are first. First one, website speed. This is a critical factor in the search engine algorithms. And I learned this one, just a few months ago when I was being like, why am I ranking so low? I'm the only one really going after this little group of words and what have you. And I found out my website was going way too slow. And I found out using, tools like Google Page Speed to give me some insights and identify the opportunities on my website's loading speed. Actually, I just changed the theme for my website, which is darkhorseschooling.com. You hear it at the beginning and the end of every episode, because it was my theme. It was a resource hog, and it was making it take, 10, 12 seconds to load up, and it was awful, right? And it was responsive, but you just it was okay on the phone, right? Then I went to a different one, which was a lot more lean and mean, and things load up a lot faster. I'm sorry, it was a little side tangent there for you. But there's other things you can do by compressing images, minimizing the code that's in there, as well as using a content delivery network, a CDN. Mobile responsiveness is very important. This refers to how well your website performs, I just mentioned it, on mobile devices. You can use tools like Google's mobile friendly test to ensure your website is optimized for mobile devices out there. This includes using a mobile responsive design and optimizing your content for the mobile users. You got to think about these things. You're showing them 27 pages. They're like, oh my God, I'm trying to get to content here. One of the things I had to do when I switched to the new theme is I had to reduce some of the wording because I was putting the extra long summary about, so I would say, here's the image that represents the podcast episode, and here's a summary. Well, the summary may have been 3,000 words. Well, they don't need that much, right? I just need a good summary so that as they're scrolling through, it keeps them interested, right? That long summary, they're like, oh, I'm out of here. Okay. And then there's your website architecture. This refers to the structure of your website, how your pages are organized. You want to use a clear and logical website structure, including using a hierarchy of headings and subheadings to make it easier for the users as well as the search engines to navigate their way through your website. Security. Security is a hugely important factor, not just for yourself, but as it relates to the search engine algorithms. You want to use the HTTPS encryption to secure your website and protect user data. This can help improve your website's trustworthiness as well as its relevance to the search engine rankings. And then finally, you got the schema markup, right? This is the type of code that you want to add to your website to provide additional information to the search engines as they come crawling, as they come a-calling, so you might say. Use the schema markup to provide information about your business, your products, your services, your coaching, yourself, and including those reviews, those ratings, and pricing, okay? Now, that leaves, last but not least, content marketing, and we have done a full episode on this, but let's go ahead and chat about it as it relates to SEO. This is content marketing is obviously the process of creating and sharing valuable, relevant, consistent content to attract and retain your target audience and ultimately drive a profitable customer interaction, right? You don't want to keep doing it for free. You have to trying to eventually make some money. Now, I know most of us are out here just trying to help folks, and that's a worthy goal, but certainly you got to have some money to keep the lights on, right? Okay. The goal of content marketing is to provide value to your target audience and establish your business or your service or yourself as the thought leader, at least one of them, in your industry. So here's some key components when it comes to content marketing. You're going to want to have a content strategy. Yeah. You want to have a strategy that aligns with your business goals as well as your target audience's needs. Your business goals and their needs should be aligned. Now, this includes things like identifying content topics, what formats they prefer, and what channels you're going to distribute it on, because that's where they are, right? That one, you got to give a horse winning to that one, because there's no sense in creating great content and putting it out there in a place that they're not. Okay. Now you want to create high quality content, and it seems like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many times I have to tell people that's really not high quality, right? You want to provide something that provides value to your target audience. Again, a blog post can provide value. A good article can provide value. I got my start many moons ago. You can still go and find a number of my articles. What is it, on ezines.com, right? Articles. I used to write all kinds of articles. That got my start. And then, started videos. 13 years ago, I think I started my first videos out there on YouTube. Podcasts, right? This is podcast number 3. Here we are. And then social media posts. To this day, still out there creating content on social media. Not quite as good at it as I am on a podcast. But the key here is to create content that's engaging, that's informative, aligns with your voice. I'm assuming you're doing something other than a podcast. And tone, right? You don't want to create something that's silly and stupid if you're a very serious person. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Then you're going to want to use SEO techniques to optimize your content for those specific keywords in that research that you did in step 1. This will help improve its visibility in the search engine results pages, the SERPs. All right, this can include the high-value keywords, the long-tail keywords, optimizing meta descriptions, putting them in the titles, and building the backlinks to your content. Roll all that into your content right there. Use social media, duh. One of the great ways to get content out nowadays. Use social media to distribute your content and engage with your target audience. Don't make it a one-way conversation, right? I talked about this in the last episode, and if you didn't listen to that yet, go back to the previous episode. I think it's episode 411, and listen to the whole episode just on social media and how you can use social media to your advantage. Probably a couple of tips and tricks in there you might have not thought about yet. By engaging with your followers through the comments, through the likes, with the shares, okay? And of course, what am I going to say? That's right. Measure your results, right? Measure the success of your content marketing efforts using metrics like website traffic. What are my engagement rates? What are my conversion rates? How many likes am I getting? How many shares am I getting, right? Is it just your friends and family that are hitting those likes? Maybe you need to go a little deeper. Use those metrics to make some data-driven decisions about the success or failure of your content strategy, and of course, adjust as necessary. Okay, so here we are. You got a bit of an understanding of all the critical components of search engine optimization, SEO. got a little bit of understanding of how to optimize your website to improve its visibility in the search engine result pages, the SERPs. The fun, my friend, does not stop there, because in our next episode, we're going to be diving into, wait for it, email marketing. Yeah, we're going to learn how to leverage the power of email to connect your audience, drive conversions, and build those lasting relationships with your customers. How many times have I told you that you're going to sell more via your relationships than you will with any cold post? Yeah. So do not miss out. Be sure to check out the next episode. It's going to be episode 413 as we go in depth in our discussion of email marketing to take your digital marketing strategy to that next level. And with that, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.
Most people overpay for car insurance, not because they're careless, but because switching feels like too much hassle. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's JERRY.ai/LIBSYN.